Today I'm discussing my top 10 roadblocks when it comes to an individual's diet and how you can overcome them. Have you ever uttered the phrase, but I eat pretty good, why am I not losing weight, why am I not progressing? Well, I'm going to go through a number of items, a number of roadblocks that you may not be aware of, or that may be so obvious that you're not actually aware that they are happening, that you can eliminate from your week to potentially improve your progression and improve your goal. Now, first one, and all of these are going to make perfect sense. First one is mindless eating. Now, what do I mean by that? Subconscious or mindless eating. Have you ever sat in front of a really intense or intriguing TV show or movie with a bag of chips or some popcorn or some snacks of some description, and in less than 10, 15 minutes the whole lot's gone because you've been engrossed in the film? You're just doing these ones where you're constantly picking and eating. You don't even realize you're doing it. That is mindless eating. And if you've got food or snacks available while you're watching TV, 9 times out of 10, you will go through that whole lot even though you have no intention of doing that. So make sure you're aware that that is happening and eliminate snacking from your TV or movie time. Second one, really simple one, cooking with oil. When you lubricate the pan to cook your protein or your eggs or whatever it might be, if you're using pouring oil, you cannot control or you cannot quantify the amount of oil you use unless you start to measure and weigh. Whereas if you switch to spray oil, at least then the contents or the quantification is eliminated or reduced so that you don't have as much oil on the pan. The less you use, the less fat you eat. The less fat you eat, the less calories you're consuming from that one product. So reduce the amount of oil you're using when you're cooking. Next one, really common one for parents, licking the spoon, the knife, the fork when you're making your kids' lunches or dinners. It's a very simple thing to do, and it sort of refers back to point one where you're mindlessly doing it. If you are making a sandwich with, say, strawberry jam, you might lick the knife before you put it in the dishwasher. Straight away, you could have just consumed 10 grams of carbs without even realizing it. Peanut butter is a big problem for a lot of people. They love peanut butter, nothing wrong with that. But if you put peanut butter on a sandwich and lick the knife, all of a sudden you're having 5-10 grams of fat, which you hadn't calculated into your day. So again, make sure that you are aware that you're doing this. As soon as you've made your kids' lunches, clean the dishes, clean the cutlery that you're using, and make sure you're not snacking or licking the spoon or the fork. Next one, finishing off a kid's meal. If they don't finish their dinner, if they don't finish their lunch and there's a little bit left, you might have served them up some protein and some veggies or whatever, and you're a little bit hungry at that point in time, you might finish their meal off, think nothing of it. Don't like to waste the food. Perhaps they're eating earlier and you eat later, so you're hungry in that late afternoon window when they're eating. 9 times out of 10, you will grab their food and finish it. So again, being aware, being conscious of these decisions. If they don't eat their food, get rid of it. Put it out of sight, out of mind, and wait until you're eating. If you are hungry at that period in time, have a big drink of water. Have a protein shake. Have something that's going to fit in with your day without ruining the overall calorie intake that you're supposed to be meeting. Next one, hidden calories. Now, I've harped on about this numerous times. Hidden calories, the alcohol, sugars in a number of products these days are not declared on the packet. When you scan it into MyFitnessPal, it doesn't come up, but you're eating more calories than it says. So be aware. Be aware. Protein bars, diet jelly, what else? Hot chocolate, diet hot chocolate. Anything that says low sugar, no sugar, low carb, all these things are red flags for potentially hidden calories. So again, do your research and know what you're eating. Next one, the big one. We're Australian, we love our alcohol. It's a massive social thing that we have here in Australia, but throughout the world as well. If you're over consuming your alcohol, chances are you're having more calories. Everything you put in your mouth has calories except for water. So it doesn't matter if you're having a low carb beer, a gin and tonic, a scotch, there's calories there and they need to be calculated. If you're not calculating them and you're just drinking 5, 6 a night over the weekend, it's going to add up. It really is. So be mindful of what you're drinking. If you can pull back on your consumption of alcohol, that will go a long way in getting you to the results you want. Weekends. Alcohol leads into the next point. Weekends. How often do people have a great week because they've got structure? They go to work Monday to Friday. They go to work, so they've got structure. They're organised. They're planned. Then Friday night comes along. They get takeaway. Saturday comes along. They might start drinking at 5 p.m. Sunday, they might have a Sunday session, or they'll go to a cafe, have a nice breakfast, things like that. All of a sudden, the calories over the weekend are up here, but your weekday is down here, so your average sits here. It's a very common occurrence. So if you can rein your weekends in, that's another roadblock that you can overcome to potentially improve your progression and improve your objective to getting to your goal. Next one, emotional eating. How often do we have a stressful day or a stressful week, or have a fight with our partner, or we're stressed over work or finances, or kids are driving us crazy, and we decide, right, I'm heading for the chocolate, or I'm going to have a crack of beer and have some peanuts or some chips. Things like that can set off a trend which you don't want to explore or go down the path of, because it can turn into something that you don't want it to. But more so, you need to understand the triggers that are setting you off and look for other alternatives instead of emotionally eating. Perhaps a walk along the beach to clear your head. Maybe you need to get to the gym and get rid of that angst, that built up rage or energy that you've developed because you are stressed or anxious. Talk to a friend, grab a coffee and have a friend date. Things like that can overcome the emotional eating. If you can pull it out of your week, again, you're saving a lot of calories and a lot of heartache on yourself. Nutritional literacy. Now, I've done a video on this before. Nutritional literacy. If a mechanic can spend 4 years doing their apprenticeship to become the best mechanic they can be, or a doctor who will study for over 10 years to become a specialist and be the best doctor they can be, why can't we spend a couple of hours a day learning how to calculate calories and macros to better educate ourselves regarding food? The better educated you are, the more equipped you are. The more equipped you are, the better understanding you've got. If you're not completely tracking, but if you eat more intuitively, you'll still understand what is going in your mouth, how many calories you're having per day, and you'll know what you can and can't have. It's so important to understand calorie intake, particularly macronutrient intake and the breakdown. Get professional assistance if you need, but it's something that everyone should do to understand their nutrition a lot better, and it will help with your goals. I guarantee it. Last but not least, another common one. Going grocery shopping when you're hungry. Everyone does it. We're hungry, we're rolling through the aisles, we get to the chocolate aisle and go, oh, I'll just grab a Mars bar to have as soon as I get outside. How often do you do that? It is very, very common. Don't shop when you're hungry. Plan ahead, have a list, be specific about that shopping list, and don't shop when you're hungry. If you do fall victim to being hungry while you're shopping, be strong. Be very, very strong. Wait until you get home, have a pre-planned meal. Don't grab a chocolate bar, don't grab a bag of chips, don't grab something that's convenient and easy but is packed full of calories. It can really set off a downward spiral for the day, and you might go, stuff it, I'll eat whatever, and then I'll swing by the bakery on the way out and grab a pie, and it can turn into something it shouldn't. So be mindful of that, but be strong in that regard as well. So there's some good tips regarding roadblocks that might be hindering your diet and hindering your progress, particularly in regards to what you're eating. So have a look. Sit down and analyze your week. Do any of these fall into your week? Are you falling victim to these things? And if you are, how do you change them? How do you make a difference so that you can progress and be happier about the results you're getting, so that you will get to your objective sooner? Happy day.